Imagine if just 13 more minutes of deep sleep could make your body like 3% better at handling sugar.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking like a serious upgrade to how your body uses insulin,
Right.
all thanks to some extra shut-eye.
Interesting.
You sent in some research on this whole sleep-blood sugar connection,
Uh-huh.
and it's way more intertwined than I realized.
Yeah.
This isn't just for folks worried about diabetes or anything. This is like relevant to everyone.
It really is. It's fascinating how we used to think of sleep and blood sugar as these like totally separate systems.
Right.
But now research like this article, the sleep-blood sugar connection,
Mm-hmm.
it's really showing just how much they impact each other,
Yeah.
affecting your daily energy and even your long-term health.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
The article highlights how even a small boost in deep sleep can significantly change how our bodies respond to insulin.
Uh-huh.
So why is that so important? Like, why is that so key?
Well, think of deep sleep as like a nightly reset for your blood sugar. During this phase, your brain isn't guzzling as much glucose.
Okay.
Insulin gets to take a breather,
Mm-hmm.
and growth hormone steps in to help manage things.
Interesting.
Even a slight increase in deep sleep time gives your metabolism a much-needed break.
Okay.
And that directly improves insulin sensitivity.
So if I'm understanding this right, better deep sleep equals my body being more efficient at using insulin,
Exactly.
which means more stable energy, fewer of those sugar cravings.
That's it.
But what happens when we don't get enough sleep?
Boy, that's when things get a little tricky.
Yeah.
You see, sleep deprivation isn't just about feeling tired.
Right.
It throws a wrench in your blood sugar control system.
Uh-huh.
Your body goes into like a stress response.
Okay.
Hormones go haywire.
Mm.
And suddenly you're craving sugary, high-carb foods for a quick energy fix.
Yeah.
It's like a double whammy on your metabolism.
The girl actually compared the impact of poor sleep on our insulin sensitivity to eating a high-fat diet for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty wild comparison.
Yeah.
I know I've definitely felt that urge to reach for sugary snacks after a rough night.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's more than just willpower at play here.
It is. It is.
That's biological?
Exactly. And what's interesting is the two-way street between sleep and blood sugar.
Okay.
You see, not only does poor sleep mess with your glucose levels,
Mm-hmm.
but high blood sugar can also disrupt your sleep. It creates this frustrating cycle
Gotcha.
that can be tough to break.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
High blood sugar makes you wake up more often to pee, interrupting your sleep.
Right.
And then those blood sugar swings mess with your hormones,
Right.
pumping out cortisol, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Exactly. And to complicate things further, people with insulin resistance,
Mm-hmm.
they're often at a higher risk for sleep apnea,
Oh, wow.
which adds another layer of sleep disruption to the mix.
Goodness.
It's a cascade of effects that can be challenging to unravel.
And to make matters even worse, modern life seems perfectly designed to sabotage both our sleep and our blood sugar.
That's true.
You know, we're talking blue light from our devices,
Yeah,
erratic work schedules,
absolutely.
constant stress,
Mhm.
diets full of processed foods.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for trouble.
It almost feels like a perfect storm.
Right.
You know, it's no wonder that diabetes rates have been climbing while our average sleep duration has been going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It's this combination of factors working against us.
So what can we do about it?
Well,
The article mentioned the supplement called GlucoTrust, which claims to target both sleep and blood sugar.
right.
I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah.
What makes it different from other supplements?
What's fascinating about GlucoTrust is its multifaceted approach.
Okay.
It combines ingredients like Gymnema sylvestre, which can help reduce sugar absorption in the gut,
Okay.
along with biotins to aid metabolism and
Oh.
chromium to support insulin sensitivity.
Mhm.
It's not simply masking the symptoms.
Right.
It aims to support your body's natural ability to handle blood sugar
Gotcha.
and promote healthy sleep.
So it's working with your body, not against it.
Exactly.
I like that approach.
Yeah.
And what about the sleep promoting aspect of it? What does it use for that?
Well, GlucoTrust includes ingredients like chamomile and magnesium,
Okay.
both known for their relaxing and sleep-promoting effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to tackle both sides of the equation.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like GlucoTrust is trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah,
But I'm guessing supplements are just one piece of the puzzle.
right.
We receive a ton of listener questions about practical steps to improve sleep and blood sugar.
Oh.
So let's dive into those.
Right.
One listener asks, I've heard so much about sleep hygiene, but what are the most important things I can actually do to get better sleep? Where do we even start with that?
Well, that's a question I get all the time.
Yeah.
Sleep hygiene can seem overwhelming with all the shoulds,
Right.
but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
The key is focusing on a few habits with the biggest impact.
Right. Give us the top-tier sleep habits we should be prioritizing.
Okay.
Where should our listeners focus their energy?
Number one is consistency.
Okay.
Your body loves routine,
Uh-huh.
so aim for a regular sleep schedule even on weekends.
Okay.
This helps regulate your natural sleep-wake cycle,
Gotcha.
making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed.
It's like training your body to expect sleep at a certain time, right?
Exactly. It's about creating those healthy sleep cues.
Gotcha.
Next, pay attention to your sleep environment.
Okay.
Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
Okay.
Invest in blackout curtains if needed. Use earplugs or a white noise machine to block distractions and keep the temperature comfortable.
So creating a sleep sanctuary, basically.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the blue light issue we talked about earlier.
Right.
Those screens really mess with our melatonin production. So avoid them for at least an hour before bed.
I know. Easier said than done in our digital world.
I know.
But I do notice a difference when I manage to disconnect before bed.
Uh-huh.
What are some good alternatives to scrolling through our phones at night?
Well, instead of that late night scroll, try winding down with a relaxing activity like a warm bath, reading a book, or listening to calming music.
I love that swapping screen time for self-care time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got consistency, sleep environment, and blue light. What else should be on our sleep hygiene checklist?
Exercise is another big one.
Okay.
Regular physical activity can really improve sleep quality.
Okay.
Just try to avoid intense workouts right before bed.
So getting that heart rate up during the day can actually help us sleep better at night.
Exactly.
In
And
fact,
don't underestimate the power of what you eat and drink.
yeah,
Alcohol and caffeine can interfere with sleep,
right.
so try to limit those, especially in the evening.
Noted. So no late night coffee or that extra glass of wine if I want to sleep soundly.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, a relaxing bedtime routine can make a world of difference.
Tell me more about this. I'm a big believer in routines.
Yeah, a consistent bedtime routine signals to your body that it's time to wind down.
Okay.
It can be as simple as dimming the lights, taking a warm bath, reading a few pages of a book, and then hitting the pillow.
It's like creating a ritual that sets you up for restful sleep.
Exactly.
Okay, so much great advice for improving sleep.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about blood sugar.
Right.
Another listener asks, my blood sugar tends to spike after meals, especially breakfast. What can I do to keep it more stable? What are some strategies for managing those post-meal spikes?
Managing those spikes is key for stable energy and long-term health. One surprisingly effective strategy is focusing on the order in which you eat your food.
The order. What do you mean by that?
Instead of starting your meal with carbohydrates like toast or cereal,
Yeah.
try eating your protein and vegetables first.
So flipping the script on the traditional breakfast order.
Exact. Protein and fiber help slow down the digestion of those carbohydrates,
Oh,
preventing those rapid blood sugar spikes.
interesting. So you're basically creating a buffer for those carbs to be processed more slowly.
That's a great way to think about it.
I like it.
Another tip is to pair carbohydrates with protein, healthy fats, and fiber.
Okay.
Instead of just a piece of fruit for a snack,
Yeah.
try adding some nuts or a dollop of nut butter.
Makes sense. You're creating a more balanced meal or snack that helps regulate blood sugar levels.
Exactly. And while we're talking about food,
Mm-hmm.
portion control is crucial.
Okay.
Even healthy foods can cause blood sugar spikes if you eat too much of them.
So it's not just about what you eat, but also how much.
Right.
Gotcha.
And just like with sleep, regular exercise can be a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Physical activity helps your muscles use glucose for energy,
Okay.
which helps lower blood sugar levels.
So exercise is the MVP here, benefiting both sleep and blood sugar.
Absolutely.
All right, it's a winner.
Even a short walk after a meal can make a difference.
Okay, we've covered sleep hygiene and managing blood sugar spikes.
Mm-hmm.
But we have another question that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Okay.
A listener writes, I'm constantly stressed out, and I know it's affecting my sleep and probably my blood sugar too. What are some effective ways to manage stress? It feels like stress is a universal experience these days.
It is.
What are your thoughts on that connection?
It's a great question. And you're right, chronic stress is a huge factor in both poor sleep and those blood sugar imbalances.
Yeah.
It's something so many of us are grappling with in our modern lives.
So where do we even begin to tackle this stress monster?
Well, the first step is identifying your stressors.
Okay.
What are the specific things in your life causing you to feel overwhelmed or anxious? Once you know what you're dealing with,
Yeah.
you can start developing coping strategies.
So awareness of those triggers is key.
Yes.
Then what?
Then it's about finding stress management techniques that work for you.
Okay.
Some people find relief through mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing.
Right.
Others benefit from time in nature, listening to music, or creative activities.
It's about finding what resonates with you and making it a part of your routine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't hesitate to seek professional help if you need it.
Right.
Therapy can be incredibly valuable for learning coping mechanisms and building a more positive mindset.
Okay. Identify your stressors, explore stress-reducing activities, and consider professional support. Those are great takeaways.
Yeah.
Anything else we should add to our stress-busting toolkit?
Well, we've already talked about how great exercise is.
Yeah.
But it's worth mentioning again here.
Okay.
Physical activity releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects
Right.
and can help combat stress.
So another win for exercise.
Ah.
It helps with sleep, blood sugar, and now stress management.
Yeah.
It really is the magic bullet, it seems.
It's one of the most powerful tools we have for overall well-being, that's for sure.
This has been such a helpful discussion so far, packed with practical advice.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to pause for a moment and acknowledge something important.
What's that?
We've talked about all these great tips and strategies,
Yeah.
but I know putting them into practice can be a challenge.
I agree. It's one thing to understand the ideas,
Uh-huh.
but it's another to actually make those changes stick.
Right. So I want to encourage our listeners to be patient with themselves.
Yeah.
Focus on making small, sustainable changes over time,
Right.
not trying to overhaul everything overnight.
That's such an important point.
Yeah,
Progress over perfection. Always.
absolutely.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
Right.
Lean on your support system. Connect with online communities.
Yeah.
Or reach out to healthcare professionals for guidance.
It's about building those healthy habits step by step.
Exactly.
All right, with that reminder, to be kind to ourselves and celebrate our progress, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
What can we expect in part 3? We've explored the science behind the sleep-blood sugar connection, and we've armed ourselves with some practical tips.
Right.
Now it's time to kind of look ahead.
Okay.
What does the future hold for this whole fascinating field?
Right.
What trends have you excited?
There's a lot to be excited about.
Okay.
One area that's really captivating is the rise of personalized sleep medicine.
Okay.
It's all about moving away from that one-size-fits-all approach to sleep and tailoring recommendations to an individual's needs.
Personalized sleep medicine.
Yeah.
That sounds super intriguing.
It is.
What does that actually look like?
Well, imagine wearable devices that go beyond basic sleep tracking.
Okay.
They could analyze your sleep stages, heart rate variability, even your brainwave activity.
Wow.
This data could then be used to create a personalized sleep plan, helping you optimize your sleep environment and even alerting you to potential sleep disorders.
It's like having a personal sleep coach right on your wrist.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
What about on the blood sugar front?
Sure.
Are there any cool advancements happening there?
Absolutely. Continuous glucose monitoring, CGM technology, is already changing how we manage diabetes, but it's about to get even more sophisticated.
I've heard about those CGM patches.
Yeah.
How do they actually work?
So CGMs use a tiny sensor under your skin
Okay.
to continuously measure glucose levels in your interstitial fluid.
Okay.
That's the fluid surrounding your cells.
Right.
The data is then sent wirelessly to a receiver or a smartphone,
Gotcha.
giving you real-time insights into your blood sugar fluctuations.
So you can see how your body responds to different foods, activities, even stress.
Exactly.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
It is. And the next generation of CGMs will be smaller, more accurate, and more seamlessly integrated into our lives.
Okay.
Think smartwatches that double as CGMs. Closed-loop systems that automatically adjust insulin delivery based on your glucose readings.
Goodness.
Even implantable sensors that last for months or even years.
Wow. It sounds like science fiction is becoming our reality.
It really is.
All this tech is fascinating.
Yeah.
But what about treatment breakthroughs? What's on the horizon there?
One area showing real promise is chronotherapy, which focuses on the timing of treatments.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Chronotherapy is based on the understanding that our bodies operate on a 24-hour cycle.
Okay.
Many biological processes, including glucose metabolism and hormone production, are influenced by this circadian rhythm, our internal clock.
So our internal clocks play a role in how we process sugar.
They do.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Chronotherapy takes advantage of this by timing medication or interventions to specific times of day to maximize their effect.
So taking medication at night when your body might be more receptive to it.
That's one example. Researchers are also looking at light therapy to reset our internal clocks, potentially improving both sleep and blood sugar control.
That's incredible.
It is.
We can harness the power of light to influence our metabolic health.
Yeah.
Are there any other cutting-edge areas of research you're following?
Definitely. There's the field of nutrigenomics, which looks at how our genes interact with the food we eat.
Now we're getting really futuristic.
I know, right?
How does that tie into sleep and blood sugar?
Well, nutrigenomics is helping us understand how individual genetic variations can make us more or less susceptible to metabolic disorders and how we respond to different diets. It's highly personalized.
So one day we might get dietary recommendations based on our own DNA.
That's the direction it's heading.
That's amazing.
And it's not limited to just food choices. Nutrigenomics is also being used to develop personalized sleep recommendations.
It sounds like the future of sleep and blood sugar research is all about personalization, precision, and a deeper understanding of how our genes, our lifestyle, and our environment all interact.
I couldn't agree more. We're moving away from general advice toward a more tailored approach that considers the uniqueness of each individual.
So what we've learned about sleep and blood sugar is really just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to discover.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up our deep dive. What's the one key takeaway you hope our listener walks away with today?
The most important thing to remember is this. Sleep and blood sugar are intimately connected. Optimizing both is absolutely crucial for overall health and well-being.
And that even small changes can have a big impact over time.
Absolutely. Whether it's setting a consistent sleep schedule, incorporating stress-reducing activities, or making simple dietary tweaks. Each step toward improving your sleep and blood sugar control is a step toward a healthier, more vibrant you.
Well said. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
Remember, knowledge is power. You now have the insights to take control of your sleep and blood sugar health.
That's right.
Sleep well, eat well, and live well.